This book is dedicated to those who are broken, who have hit rock bottom in the depths of despair, whose psyches are convinced there is nothing left in this world. May you find the light where there seems to be nothing but darkness. Yeah, it can be an injury, it can be anything, but I know every single person is going through something, and I want two things. One, for them to know that they're not alone, and two, for them to talk about it. The only reason I was able to be this transparent in this book, you, Dalton, and some runner you had on one of your podcasts, he was so transparent and open, and here it is. This is me, and the liberating feeling you get from doing that is a feeling that I didn't even think was possible, but it just makes everything just make sense. Like, yeah, be yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to It's the Bearded Man podcast with your favorite, the world's favorite bearded man, Bob Bay. Each week with our guest episodes, I try to put the spotlight on someone who in my eyes is living their most authentic life. Today's guest was born and raised in Lincoln, Rhode Island. Born with cystic fibrosis, he has not let this disease stop him from living his best life. If you ever flown Southwest Airlines, you may have been lucky enough to be served a beverage by this man, or maybe a snack, because this man is a snack. He recently launched his book, Break a Leg, Fix a Mind, on May 5th. For all the OG Bearded Man followers, he was previous guest for episode 114 of Purpose in the Youth podcast, which came out in January of 2019. Today on the podcast, Matt Oliveira, a.k.a. Molives, baby. How we doing?
We're doing good, man. What an intro.
What a guy to be sitting across from at this moment in time.
Yep. Coming fresh off an Uncrustable, both wearing slippers, and yeah.
We're vibing.
It's a 5.5, baby.
A 5.5. Couple East Coasters about to get into some shit today, baby. It's crazy because this podcast was originally supposed to happen... Sheesh, I don't know. At this point, it would have been... I mean, I think I had hit you up around October, knowing that you were going to be traveling here and there just because of being a flight attendant and you weren't living in LA anymore. But I was like, Molives is a great dude, like, to get back on. I was like, just a little dancing. I was like, a great candidate because I was just getting back into the flow of podcasting. And so we lock in, this date and time. And I'll never forget it. I get a text from you. And there's this picture of you with a big-ass smile on your face in the back of an ambulance, and you're just like, yo, bro, not going to make it this time, blah, blah, blah. We'll get on it soon. I think I wrote back to you, you're the only person that I would ever imagine to send me a picture of him or themselves in the back of an ambulance with a smile on their face. And, of course, it was you.
Yeah. Well, hate to see it, but could have been worse,
Could have been a lot worse. Where do we even start?
I don't know. Yeah, we can start with the accident, I guess.
Yeah, please paint the picture. Me. This is in Florida. This is like the boogie Halloween weekend. You guys are there raging, partying. Yeah. I mean, reading your book, it sounded like the place that I needed to be. So I'm a little disappointed I didn't get the invite for it. Yeah. But paint me the picture of what's leading into this night.
Right. Yeah. Well, skydivers are always welcome. Non-skydivers are welcome. It's a good time. We were in Georgia at a boogie, which, if you're a skydiver, you know that a boogie is a spot where it's like a weekend of skydiving and partying like all weekend. So at the end of every day, they get the sunset jump, and every sunset jump, everyone's going to be holding 2 beers in their hands in the landing area. And as you come in, land with your parachute, you try and swoop and chug. So you try and grab a beer, and then you just start chugging the beer. And that starts the festivities for the evening. But no, it's great vibe. We were in Georgia, skydive the farm, and it was really my first weekend where I was at a skydiving event. So I skydive in Florida usually, but all my buddies were saying this is the Halloween boogie in Georgia. So we got costumes, ready for the big party that was going to be on Halloween on the last night. And so yeah, went with some friends. We were jumping all day, and we finally get to the infamous night jump. So if you're a skydiver that has some little bit of experience, you're going to want to do a night jump. It's something that a lot of people do just because, it's challenging, and it's something that, you got to check it off at some point.
Yeah.
If for me personally, because I'm trying to take the sport pretty far.
My man wants to be on the Red Bull team. That ain't no joke.
Just me and every other skydiver in the world.
Yeah, but if there's somebody that I believe is gonna make it happen, it's gonna be you.
Appreciate that, man.
It's gonna happen.
Skills aren't there yet, but I definitely post injury think I set myself up for a good timeline in terms of that. But
yeah.
So yeah, we get all ready. We got to put lights on our rigs because we're jumping at night. So that's for you to be able to see other jumpers in the sky. Because when you jump out of the airplane at night, it's pitch black. You can't.
That's gnarly.
You can't
just
see
thinking about
like anything. So
oh my God.
People have lights all on them, and then put the lights on. Start walking up to the plane. And clouds are starting to roll in a little bit. I'd done about 6 or 7 jumps that day, so I wasn't too worried about it. I was just stoked, ready to go. Did a last little Instagram story for the feed,
Of course.
First night jump, baby. Let's go. Let's get it. Me and my buddy Joe are like so stoked to be doing it.
First time.
Dude, we've been talking about doing a night jump for so long.
Yeah.
Because it's
like a checklist, right?
Yeah, so it's not something you have to do, but I've always wanted to do one. And paint the picture on the ground, there was about 20 cars with like headlights that it was about like a football field size. They were all pointing, towards each other to like have this landing area all lit up because it was literally in the middle of nowhere, and it wasn't too great for lighting. But yeah, and then people were, juggling fire, and it's a big like campground vibe. So people are in tents, campers. So everyone's just waiting for everybody to get down. So we start going up in the plane. Everyone's dead silent, super serious. And the vibe usually during the day, everyone's busting balls. They're on their phones a little bit. And so dead silence, and I'm like, oh shit, this is kind of serious, man. Like everyone's like locked in, and I'm like, all right, I can get with it. So I was locking in too, and nobody really did like pictures or anything, or like I actually think someone did take a picture and with the flash, and I was like, hey, turn the fucking camera off, just because like,
wow,
your eyes need to adjust because when you jump out, it's like pitch black. So
yeah.
Same with flight attendant too, like on night flights the lights have to be completely off when you're about to land so your eyes can adjust in case you have to evacuate, that your eyes, you don't get disoriented as you evacuate.
Yep.
So yeah, same kind of thing there. So super serious. Now when you do your first night jump, you're supposed to do it solo, but I was talking about doing it with my buddy for so long, and we kind of thought we were hot shit. I had 150 jumps. I'm like, nah, we'll be all right, bro. We got this, Been jumping there all weekend. I'm like, dude, like, it's the
easy,
worst that could happen.
This is light work.
Yeah. So we started doing some circles because there was a little bit of cloud coverage. And we were like, is this jump going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Not sure. People whose first night jump it was that did it the right way did their jumps. And then it was next for us to go. So we were coming up, doing a 4-way jump, me and my buddy Joe, and then this other couple we were with. So ready to go, jump out, have the time of my life. We get together in like a nice little round 4-way belly jump. And
you guys like holding hands at this point?
Yeah. So we jump, we're belly to earth. And we just like come together, all 4 of us, and we kind of like lock arms, and we're falling together, like conjoined. And so at the, break off altitude, we let go of each other and, tracked away, gave us enough space to, pull our parachutes. And I was pulling the highest.
So you guys beforehand are setting, like, you pull it 5,000, you pull it 4,500, so that way you guys aren't pulling and colliding into each other.
Yeah, exactly. So I pulled the highest, and as soon as I get under canopy, cannot see anything. I can't see the plane above me. I can't see anybody that I jumped with below me. It was super cloudy, and I was like, shit. I'm like, that's not good. So I'm like, all right, happens, doesn't happen, but in my mind, I'm just talking to myself. I'm like, all good, dude.
I'll figure it out.
Chilling, 150 jumps. We got this.
Oh my God.
So I'm trying to navigate through the clouds. I point my canopy in the direction that I think the landing area is. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I think it's over here. But get out of the cloud layer finally, and I see where I'm supposed to be landing, which is about half a mile to the left. And I'm like, all right, no problem. Plenty of altitude. Pull my left toggle, turn left. But the wind was so strong. It was blowing me. Literally, I would turn left and I was still sliding to the right. And I was making no headway to the left. And I'm like, fuck, dude. I don't know if I'm going to make it back. So I'm still like trying to fight it, trying to, turn my body, trying to get over there as best as I can. And I'm like, nope. Check my altitude, 2,000 feet. I'm like, nope, I'm not making it over there.
Whoa.
I'm like, shit. Now, this drop zone, middle of nowhere, Georgia, like I said, it's like a football field size landing area, which is super small. And the thing about this place is there's not many outs in terms of like alternate landing areas. So I'm looking over and I'm like, all right, where are we going to put this thing? I'm like, I know I'm not going to make it where I need to go. So I'm like looking around.
Can't see shit.
Can't see shit. Completely not panicked though. The ego helped me a little bit in a weird way. But yeah, so look at a few different spots and I'm like, I don't know if this is like a water area or like a field with like some hills. I'm like, still pitch black. I'm like, I can't really see anything there. Like, I don't want to like, hit water or I don't know what's down there. I can't see it. And it was a small area too. And then I look to the right and I'm like, I might be able to put it over here. See this lit up area. Kind of look like the end of someone's driveway, kind of like a cul-de-sac type vibe. I'm like, yeah, you know what that is, bro. The listeners know what that is.
You're unreal.
They know that vibe.
Unreal.
So I'm like, yeah, let's try it out. Let's check it out. See what we got going on. So, I decided that's where I'm gonna put it, and start going into like first turn because you got to do like a little I don't know, kind of like a hook turn to come in for the landing. And I was over some trees, turn right, which now the wind's in my back, so I'm going downwind. So my speed is super fast. Turn in, start descending, and I'm going faster than I've ever gone before. And I was like, holy shit, I did not even know my canopy could go this fast. So I'm looking dead in the eyes of this boat that's on a hitch. And I'm going so fast, going right towards it. I'm like, shit. So I pull down my toggles as hard as I can, and I lift my legs, and I get my legs over the hitch, and I'm like, whew, crisis averted. That was fucking close. Little did I know, there was a little, shed the size of, Mount Vesuvius right in front of me. That was right beyond that. And I'm like, fuck, I'm about to hit this. And I remember I just like kind of curled up into like a little ball, and I was just like, fuck. Boom! Hit the building, did like a little 360, and I'm on the ground. And I'm like, all right, fuck, that was ridiculous. Am I okay? Checking my body, pat my stomach, my shoulders, my arms, and I'm like, am I good? I'm like, all right, I think I'm good. Legs, thighs, knees. Look, and my ankle is just like flopping sideways. And I'm like,
boy.
that's not good. That is not good. Didn't hurt though. And I'm like, damn. It looks like it should hurt,
Yeah.
but wasn't registering. I'm like,
Pure
all right.
shock.
Pure shock, adrenaline, all of it. So I start getting off, my rig, taking it off, and then I take my right leg out, and then I try to lift my left leg, and I screamed louder than I've ever screamed in my entire life.
You tried lifting it with your hand or like
with my yeah.
You like your actual self.
Yeah, I try to lift my leg with my leg muscles, I guess.
And just pure pain.
Dude, it was so sharp and so foreign of a feeling to me. I was just like, I started screaming so loud, and then like I was like, all right, like I fight or flight, like all right, what are we gonna do? Like how are we gonna get out of this? So I had my phone in my pocket. Thank God, I jumped with my phone.
Do you usually do that or no?
Sometimes no, but it was a night jump, and I don't know. I was just like, yeah, probably jump with my phone. I don't really know why. I just did. Actually, probably because of the Instagram story.
I didn't want to say it, but I was like,
Instagram.
You got to get the content.
Instagram story
right
before the jump. Yeah, of course. Sheesh, dude. But it helped because called 911 immediately, and I was like, yo, landed off. I'm a skydiver. I got a broken left foot. And she's like, where are you? And I'm like, I have no idea. Not sure where I am. So she was able to ping my location and find out where I was. Meanwhile, my friends that I was jumping with were calling me. And they're like, where is this guy? Because my other friends had landed. And some of my friends were like, hey, like, where's Matt? They're like, I don't know. And my friend Vanessa's like, what did you call him? And my buddy Joey's like, no. Vanessa, so sweet. She's like the mom of the group. And she's like, all right, well, let's call him. So Vanessa calls me, and I'm on the other line with, the 911 operator. And she's like, like, stay on the line. I guess they just want you to stay on the line, like, in case, I don't know, anything happens or something. And I was just like, well, I really gotta let my friends know that like I'm okay, and gotta let them know where I am and stuff. And so I ended up hanging up with 911 and picking up their call. And then I shared my location with them, which was actually easier for them to like come and find me. So they show up, and about like 10 minutes before the ambulance did, and they look at my foot and the face that like they made, because I was okay, like mentally at that time. I was like, all right, well, broke my ankle, like I'm okay, like, but I got a broken ankle. And the look on their face of how bad my ankle actually looked was, that scared me more than I was actually like hurt, because I was like, dude, like, don't scare me. Like, like parents look at like a baby and just like make a face, or like,
they mirror the emotion. You mirror the emotion.
Exactly. Yeah. Like if a baby like falls down and you're like, like, yeah, you're okay. The baby's like,
totally.
But like if you're like, oh no, the baby's like, So that's what I was like. No, I'm okay. Stop it. Stop freaking me out, dude. But after they're like, dude, you're not okay. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But they obviously start taking some selfies and, hey, look at this idiot. Once they knew I was all right, they started, of course, instantly busting balls. Like, look at this fucking guy. Can't do a single night jump. What a clown. What a rookie. But, so the ambulance came by, scooped me up, and started pumping me with all sorts of drugs in the ambulance. And they brought me to the ER, popped my ankle back into its socket and splinted it up. And that was pretty much,
this is the turning point.
The first night jump experience. yeah, hate to see it, but
So going, paint the picture though, going into this jump though, like this is November of 2020. You had moved out of LA probably at that point. This is 4 months before. It was like last July, I think, right? Because I remember we went out in Hermosa right before you had. I think you had moved out.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, me,
Dawson.
you, Dahl, and there was a squad of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was like your hurrah. That was like your last hurrah. You're getting ready to move out. So where do you see your life going the day before this accident? Like everything's in motion. What's top of mind? You had moved to Florida. You're there to get into skydiving heavily. Is this where you're really starting to think about getting into like Red Bull? Like where are you at with your life at that moment in time?
Yeah, so I just came off like you said, like a few months of moving from LA to Florida, just out of a recent relationship where we decided to go separate paths in our lives, but the same path of like following our dreams and stuff. I had always wanted to become a part of the Red Bull Airforce skydiving, but I never really fully went for it for financial reasons. Super expensive out here in California, and where I got my license in Florida was a lot cheaper, and I had a bunch of skydiving friends there, and I was just like, this is where I gotta be. So made the move down to Florida, and I was just traveling, skydiving. I was ready to go, making, some skydiving vlogs, and yeah, it was just kind of on autopilot. Go. Definitely super cocky. Thought I was the fucking greatest skydiver who's ever, jumped out of an airplane, which had 150 jumps. So, which in the skydiving world is baby.
Yeah.
And there's something called 100 jump wonder for a reason, which is when you have 100 jumps and you think, that shit doesn't stink and you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where I was right before the jump. I was like, yeah, I got this. Super. I mean, I knew I wasn't an amazing skydiver, but
You're ready to go all in on it though.
yeah, I was ready to go all in. I'm like, no matter the situation, like I will figure it out. I'll take care of it.
The one thing that I really respected from what I was seeing outside looking in, because you and the significant other, I had obviously known you guys. I remember, I'll never forget, I ran into you guys at Burbank Airport. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh,
what are the odds of
right.
this?
Yeah.
I think you said the bearded man, and like you Instagrammed it. I was like, oh shit. I was like, you're the last person I thought I was going to see here, but also the first person because you're a damn flight attendant.
Yeah.
But outside looking in, I was like, wow, they are navigating, like they're closing this chapter both on LA to go pursue both of their dreams, which ultimately is two completely separate paths. And I think we had even talked about it that night we went out, and like I think a couple weeks before that, went to the beach. And to me, outside looking in, it was like this mutual thing. You guys both understood it, and it just was like it had to happen. And I was so impressed with, like, to me, it seemed like such a positive / like the way you were, the way I could see in you, it looked like it was like it just was supposed to happen. And to me, it seemed like there was no, like, people, 99% of people that break up with a significant other, it's not easy. It's roller coasters. Yeah. It's one person wanted it more than the other, or it's just not good. And to me, it looked like outside looking in, it looked like everything was gravy. But would you say that because you were on the go, you were skydiving, you were traveling, that there was never a time to really sit and think about this chapter closing? Or were you just like both so good on your new path that we might have been with each other for a year plus, but it just, one chapter closed, now the next one opens?
Yeah. We can, we'll dive into that if you want. Yeah, for sure.
We go anywhere you want.
No, we'll take, we're
going to go, and then we're going to go all the way.
All right, we'll take it back. We'll bring it around town.
Park the car outside. We're going everywhere today, my brother.
Right. So relationship was incredible. No regrets. It was incredible. It was probably like my first real serious relationship. I had a couple of relationships prior, but this one we lived together. Santa Monica.
You mowed the grass.
Did not mow the grass, but don't think we had grass.
Not in Santa Monica.
We got a Christmas tree once. That was so it was serious. Got a Christmas tree, man.
Of course.
And actually, before we started dating, I had some money saved up, and I was gonna buy a skydiving rig, and I was like, I was crashing at her place with her then roommate, and we were just going on trips, having a good time, and I was saving money, and so I was getting ready to buy this, skydiving rig, and her lease was up, and she was gonna get a spot, and then it was kind of like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna get one together, or what's gonna go on? And so, we decided to get a place together. So financially, excuse me, the first month's rent, last month's rent,
not cheap.
Furniture,
not cheap.
Plates, pots, pans, towels, brooms, all of it. Yeah. And then I just see my skydiving rig fund smaller, smaller, and smaller. But like I had the choice. Like I do not regret it at all. And I loved like new things, new experiences, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I've always wanted to live in Santa Monica, always. Rocket power, surf, try and surf and all that, dude. I was like, all right, yeah, let's get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had a great time. Went on a bunch of trips. I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot about how to love, how to be loved. Definitely a lot about just being in a serious relationship, and just the amount of care that you have to put into it, and stuff like that, and sacrifices, and just being there for someone, and trying to be open and understanding, having space and what that's like, but yeah, it wasn't perfect, but it was fun. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, when it came time to sign a new lease, our lease was up, and we were actually talking. We're like, where do we want to go? We want to go to like Costa Rica, Spain. Like we could go anywhere. And I went, and she big into fashion, modeling, and she really, really wanted to go to New York to pursue her modeling career. Also singer. So she wanted to go to New York, and I was like, New York? All right. I hate New York. And I'd said that the whole relationship. She'd inched at it so much. She's like,
that's funny.
Wouldn't New York be kind of cool? I'm like, yeah, probably not. But but towards the end, I was like, you know what? Relationships take sacrifice. I was researching skydiving places up there, and I'm like, there was a wind tunnel close by, which is good to, help learn how to fly your body without, having to skydive, spend the money for that. So yeah, and then at the end of it, I was like, all right. I was in my head, I'm like, New York, let's do it. We can do New York. And then I went down to Florida, and I was skydiving with all my new friends, and I have some family that's there, and the weather's beautiful, and right near the beach, and I was like, I gotta be here. You just feel it, I'm sure when you came here, you're like, all right, this is it. And I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna tell her. I need to be here though, and I don't think I can go to New York. So I was like, all right, she knew someone was bugging me, and she's like, just tell me, like, what is, and I'm like, I don't want to go to New York. I can't do it. I got to be in Florida. I really want to take this next step with skydiving and try and go every single week and hit the wind tunnel and get better. And, I really want to be part of the Red Bull Airforce, which is really just my childhood dream of becoming a Power Ranger.
Totally.
When I saw Power Rangers
Totally.
when I was a kid, first opening scene was incredible. And I'm like, I kind of want to be a Power Ranger. But the modern day Power Rangers are the Red Bull Airforce.
guys. Totally.
So jumping into, stadiums, bringing in the game ball and jumping into music festivals and, just that rush of, being really, really ridiculously good at skydiving and, just doing it in cool spots.
Yeah.
I told her and she was like, I know. And I knew that you weren't going to want to go to New York. And she was getting ready to tell me that she didn't want me to come, not because she didn't want me to come, because she just knew that I didn't want to go and I was just going to go for her. We had the talk and it was pretty much just like, all right, you go do your thing in Florida, become a crazy skydiver, dude. Try and go to New York and become a model, singer, fashionista. And so, it was very, very amicable. We were totally cool with it.
Yeah.
And then, after that, we kind of had a little falling out. How long, then that's the question. Can you be friends with your ex? Is that like a thing is that like an actual realistic thing?
Yeah.
So we were talking for like another month and a half and we were just kind of still hanging out and nothing really changed at all. And then she went to LA and I told her, I was like, hey, like, I know we're broken up, but like she was still on my flight benefits. And I'm like, yo, like if you want to go like here or there, like I got you, like it's fine. Like I know we're not together, but like you still have this like perk and like we're still cool. So like, like go for it. Like go wherever you want. And she was hesitant at first. She like, I don't know, kind of felt weird about it. And then she came to LA and she asked for a flight back. And I was like, yeah, got you for sure. So I gave her a flight back and then she went pretty rogue for like a few weeks. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, and I was like, yeah, whatever. And I just get like a text saying that she was seeing someone in LA, and I was just like, LA, really? The same LA that I just got you a flight back from, really? I'm like, that's interesting. So at the time, I was just like, and to wrap this up into
I don't want to put you too much into it because this could be a whole podcast in of itself.
No,
I think it's an important piece of your entire story of the next phase of after post accident.
So she and I mean she's young and stuff. She's 22, so I totally understand. She's got a lot of finding herself and everything. And so anyways, after I don't even know where I was, bro.
The text, she's seeing somebody.
Yeah, she's seeing someone, and I was just like going, traveling, skydiving, didn't even think about it. I was like, a little messed up, but like not too crazy. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to keep skydiving, traveling. Didn't even think about it for 2 seconds. I was like, all right, 10 minutes goes by. I'm like, all right, where we jumping this weekend, boys? Yeah. And then, so...
First off, I just want to acknowledge the fact that you were taking that initial step to recognize, like, New York is not where I need to be. I need to go to Florida. Like, most people won't do that. Most people are... There's somebody that's going to listen to this podcast is in that position right now where they need to get out of the relationship or they want to go pursue the dream, and they haven't done so yet. And I even think back on my life and how blessed... I've just been a single man for a long time. Like, I went through a heartbreak right when I was graduating college. And now I didn't know it at the time, but it fucked me up in the head for a while. Like, fucked me up, like eating wise and like mentally. Like there were times in my spring semester, my senior year, I'd be at a party with my homies. I would see a girl that looked like her. I would think it's her, and all of a sudden, like these emotions run through my body, and I'd start bawling my eyes off. My homies would have to walk me home. It was like embarrassing looking back on it. But looking back on it, it then allowed me to go on this path of self-discovery of like, I was just starting the podcast and I was just like, I'm not going to attach myself to somebody else because I need to figure out who the fuck I am. So just the fact that you took that step, and then she obviously, you know, she said you should go to New York. She could feel whatever. Doesn't matter. You still were taking that initial step, and that in of itself is massive. And I want to acknowledge you that you were doing that for yourself, which doesn't surprise me because of the human being that you are. But I'm glad we got that part in because I know there's a lot of things that brew in the post, and that's why literally this book came in yesterday. Blocked out the schedule. I said, I'm getting through this, baby. No chance I'm not getting through it before this podcast. So accident happens. I'm sure like the first first week or 2 weeks is just kind of like adrenaline. You're like, you know, flying home. You got to get a surgery done. Everybody's like talking to you. You're probably getting text calls, social media, like crazy. I mean, everyone's just like, got to talk to Molives. He just jumped out of a plane and hurt himself and he's breathing. But talk to me about when things start to take a turn and it starts to get like pretty dark and there's a lot of stillness and like your phone's not vibrating anymore. Nobody's like calling you to check in with you. They know you're injured. You can't really do anything. At what point does this start to get pretty dark for you?
Yeah, so I went home to Rhode Island to have surgery and stuff, and I referenced this in the book saying that there's a certain high that I was getting like from all of the love, and I thought it was like kind of cool to have a broken ankle, like when you go into class, like when you're a kid and everyone gets to sign your cast and you get so much attention and love, and I was just like, oh, everybody loves me, this is so cool. And I'm like, oh, time off from work, like, oh, I'll be all right. And yeah, then the doctors was like, yeah, it's, you know, recovery is going to be about like 4 or 5 months. Didn't even sounded like 2 days to me. I was like, yeah, it's not that long. So yeah, I'm sitting at home. Phone starts to get a little quiet, and then I'm like, damn, I've really got to deal with this, I guess. Ice on my leg every day, shacking up with the parents, can't do anything.
Also, coldest months of the year in the Northeast.
Freezing.
Dark, gray, cold, misery. Why I will not go back to the Northeast.
Bad. I don't think
literally the worst time for you to go through this injuries in the middle of the winter.
So bad. So, yeah, and just having to have my parents do literally everything for me, like getting out of bed and hopping in the shower, like taking a shower, hour and 20 fiasco, because I had to get up, I had to get this like waterproof like thing and put it over my cast, but every time I did that it hurt so bad, so I had to take 2 of my hands and like 2 of like my parents' hands, and they were trying to like make sure it wouldn't alter the cast or anything. And so that pain hurt, and then got to tape it up and then hop in the shower literally on one leg and sit in a metal chair in the shower, and then like just like being able to grab the soap was like so far, and I had to like balance my leg against the wall, and that hurt, and I was just like so like every part, just showering, and then yeah, the rest of it, sleeping, it just hurt so bad, and starting not to get any calls, and my friends like stopped coming over, and I'm like, damn, this is not fun. And then I'm like, start going to a little bit of self-sabotage. I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have jumped on that jump, man. I'm such an idiot. Why did I think I was so good? I wasn't ready for it. People told me, do the solo. I jumped with friends. It was super windy and super cloudy. I jumped anyways. I'm such an idiot. I'm like, damn, just keep digging and digging. And then it's like, since no one was hitting me up, and then, my past relationship, I started thinking about that more. And I'm like, damn, like no one's ever going to love me again. Like, cause I was just like reaching out to friends and they like weren't really talking. And I'm like, no one really likes me that much. I'm like, this is not good. And then, I was pretty depressed pretty quickly. And yeah, it got so bad. I thought about committing suicide for not, it wasn't that long of a span, maybe about a week where I was seriously considering it. I didn't see a way out. I just wanted the pain to end. I didn't want to die. I wanted the pain to end. And I said, how can it end? And so, yeah, I thought about driving over to a bridge that's not far away. And I was like, I always wanted to base jump. Might as well be the last thing I do. I mean, I've done everything. I've traveled, I've seen the world. I've had a great life. I think that, it was fun. I think this is it. I don't see a way of it stopping. The pain wouldn't stop. And yeah, and that I sat there at rock bottom for about a week, and every day I would sleep a lot, because sleep
numbs it.
I was not being awake. It helped, because I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to deal with it. I was in another world, in a dream world, where I had two legs and I could walk and I could travel and skydive and meet friends and all that. But when I woke up, it was definitely not the case. So,
what's the moment, conversation, situation, or thing that starts to put you on the right track?
So my parents, I have a niece that also has cystic fibrosis, and
really?
My family will watch her sometimes. And so she, there were a few things, I guess, but definitely my niece for sure. So she'd come over, and just like seeing how full of life she is. And I guess it's people, when they see me too, like doing what I'm doing, and they know I have cystic fibrosis, they get a little bit like, oh, okay, like, you can do a lot more than we think. And so she and my mom like would bake cookies, but I was sleeping one time, and I woke up, and here comes 2 foot nothing or 3 foot tall Cora. She's coming in with a plate of cookies, and she says, "Good morning, Uncle Molives. I made your cookies." And I'm just like,
oh man,
I'm like so down, and I'm like, you're the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh man.
And I'm like, damn, like. And she kept dropping them. She had them on a plate, and she'd like, the room was a mess. There was stuff everywhere, crutches and ice packs, and she's like tripping over absolutely everything. And she drops cookies, and she'd pick one up, put it back on the plate, take a step, drop another cookie, and she kept repeating, "Good morning, Molives, Uncle Molives.
Man.
I made you cookies." So I would definitely say, family at first. Definitely my niece, just being so in the moment and so precious that I couldn't help but smile and laugh. And so it helped me just like get like a little bit, it gave me a step up the ladder of climbing out of rock bottom. And that was definitely one of the first things. But then, so that started helping me get in a better mood, and I was like, all right, this is, there's progress to be made here. I'm like, all right, dude, we gotta, what are we doing here? We gotta get ourselves out of this. No one's gonna come. No one's gonna throw me a rope. So I I had to claw myself out, and I was like, all right, well, what do I want to do? Like, I remember before this, I had goals, I had stuff I wanted to do. Well, what was that stuff? All right, well, I wanted to be a super rad skydiver. Well, can't move. So what can I do something now that can help me? Well, yeah, there's YouTube channel of how to fly your body in the wind tunnel, A to Z. All right, I can watch some of those videos, kind of help me out. I had this skydiving book called Body Flight Basics, and Canopy and its pilot. I'm like, something went wrong. I did something wrong. How do we reverse engineer this to make sure A, it doesn't happen again, and B, it doesn't happen again. But no, B, we learned from it. So we got to get better from this. So yeah, so I started learning about different things. Got a book recommendation from my boy Bave.
Huge, man. I still vividly remember that IG live.
Yep, it was this book called
The Surrender
Experience or Experiment.
Experiment, yep.
And it just dives into all about life just being something that you should surrender to whatever it is that's happening, and it will kind of come to fruition of everything happens for a reason, and just all that. The first half of the book,
it's beautiful,
dude. It and I actually weirdly related to like a couple like places and like names of people that like I was like talking to, and I was just like, I know I should be reading this. But yeah, so that book helped, and then just reading more books and learning about myself of like where was my checks and balances that said like that I was totally ready for this jump, like. And so I started getting into read a book, Ego is the Enemy, starting about the ego and how that affected my mental, and how being overly cocky and the difference between the ego and confidence, that was really big too. And so confidence stems from just doing something repeatedly and just knowing you can do it, but not needing any external validation to tell you how amazing you are. You just do what you do because you've done it so many times, and there is no ego in confidence. But with the ego loves the praise. It loves to be boastful. There is no just like there's no
mountain high enough.
No mountain high enough. And the ego just it's just too much cockiness, and there's just really no place for it. But with humbleness and coming at an approach where you know you can do things and you can't do things, and knowing that balance and that line, and being able to say I'm not ready for this, but I'll work on it. And definitely a lot of self-exploration in that period.
It's what I like to call the deep work. It's something that nobody wants to really, you can't really think about it and recognize the path that you're about to go on for doing the deep work. But it is, and it's similar to what I was just talking about earlier about like post-college, getting into the podcasting, self-discovery. The first 3.5 years out of college was just me figuring out who I was and what I wanted to do with my life. And this is exactly what it sounded like for you in this post-accident, is that nobody's hitting you up. Nobody's really, you have your family, and obviously certain people are checking in on you, but like there's a lot of downtime, and you either lean into that downtime and you utilize it to your best advantage, and you read books and you watch YouTube tutorials and you find ways to mentally level up every single day, and physically, even obviously with a little bit of, icing every day. You can look at that as like, I need ice so I can physically get one step better today. It's that deep work that the most beauty comes from it. And it's like planting a seed. It doesn't grow after 1 day, 5 days, 10 days, but slowly you keep watering it and something beautiful comes from it. And that's exactly what it sounds like. It's just, it became this period that you got to just really dive into who is Molives, what does he want with his life, what's the direction, how does he reverse engineer the steps that he took before that he shouldn't have taken. It's one of those things that you need, every person needs to go through that at some point in their life, because you got to answer the tough questions. And the only way to answer them is by stillness and by just journaling, reading, thinking. And it doesn't just happen. Like, I can't just sit here right now and be like, all right, I'm going to deep work for 2 hours and I'll have every answer solved.
Yeah.
It's a little, like, you have to put in work. It's like rough drafts every day. You're revising your rough draft every single day. And at some point you start to get really, really dialed in on who you are, what you want to do, who you want to surround yourself with. And then you start taking those steps forward. Yeah.
That's something that I said in the book actually about you too, is because you always preach, get 1% better every day, and that's definitely something that helped me out. Yep, tatted on the hand.
Right there, baby. Bro, I was honored. I don't want you to think like I just like, bro. I was honored to see that, to see my name in your book. I couldn't even believe it. Like, it was, yeah. I mean, sheesh. You're talking about, like, the why of why I podcast and why I create and why I do what I do and share these messages. It's like, it's moments like that where I'm like, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. I don't want you to go through something negative to benefit from the messages that I preach and the words that I share through all the shit. But to read that and especially and then read the book, it was like, truthfully an honor, man. Truthfully an honor.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you, man. You're definitely out here on this journey. You're definitely exactly where you need to be, and it definitely helped me out a lot, and I really do appreciate that, man. And that, like I said, 1% better every day, and the gym helped me so much. The gym.
Be able to get back in
I could see it. I could physically see
manifest
my ankle getting better, every day, physical therapy, and being able to, sweat. And even if it was, even if I couldn't walk, buddy gave me some, dumbbells and stuff. So I started like working out a little bit and crutching and yeah. I just point at him because he's read the book.
I read the book. I know.
Florida.
But there's a lot of people.
My uncle. Are we talking? Are we going to go there?
Baby,
okay.
Manny,
my boy Manny.
Also, let me tell you, I was dying in this book when you're telling the story of your father and he says, does anybody see this? I think it was like the trash can, like it's full, and you're like anybody see this? Or like the cars making noise, like anybody hear this? Because I get it. I could like see that in a movie.
No.
But I mean, shouts to your father Frank, and then your mom.
Yep, Frank and Babs.
Yeah, I know they played in a big role. But yeah, before we get into like why you wrote the book, I guess what would you say to your Uncle Manny if he was here right now?
Nothing but love for that guy. So yeah, my uncle was in a similar situation in terms of he's a comedian for Carnival Cruise Lines, and same as me, traveling, having a good time, telling jokes. And yeah, the world shut down for him when COVID started. Cruises aren't going. Same thing happened for him. Dig a hole, start getting super depressed, anxiety, and I went to Florida one time during my recovery process, and we had an incredible day together. I can get into.
You can get a little high level of it. Yeah, I want people to read the book too, but I also want you to talk about it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So we just had a really great day. I asked him if he wanted to go to no technology because we were both on our phones way too much, and I know that it's I get caught in like that prison of just like looking at my phone. I look up and I'm like, where did the time go? Mm-hmm. So and him too. I noticed he was on the phone way too much, and I'm like, let's just try going no phones tomorrow. So we had a great day of just being in the moment. We went on amazing conversations. We went on a walk, and I knew he hadn't gotten any exercise, and I was like, let's try going for a little walk. So I was like, I'm going as far as I can go, man. This guy needs exercise. I need exercise. And so we went, and man, the conversations we had about my family and my dad and my uncle's relationship with his mother, and he had regretted traveling and not really being there towards the end of my grandmother's life, because he was always on the road and stuff. So that importance of family, definitely a great lesson that I got from him, and just to lean on each other, man. When we're going through some shit, like, we're all going through shit, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, my uncle helped me so much, but yeah, I love that guy, man. We had such a great day, and told me stories about my dad that I didn't even know. My dad's my homie.
Yeah.
You can get into it in the book, but
it was very much a bonding / therapeutic session that you both very much needed.
Yep. We did a few exercises of exercising our demons.
What inspired you to write the book? Because the craziest thing about the whole story, is that you're the YouTuber, content creator. You're not picking up a pen and necessarily writing. You're showing, telling. It's vlogging. It's great content. But when I see that you drop a book, I was like, this guy's out of his fucking mind. There is no limit with this guy. I didn't even, for all the right reasons. I was like, he's like, yeah, I wrote a book. Here it is. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I made it super low key. I wasn't. Yeah.
You know how I knew it was a flex. You know how I knew it was a flex. When you dropped the book, I scrolled back one post, and then you wrote, maybe one day I'll write a book. It was like 3 months prior. I go, this guy subtly hinted it. Everybody read that and was like, yeah, cool, bro. Yep. Everyone says that shit. And you actually folled through and did it.
I had already started writing.
Did you do that for the... Oh, you
I already started writing when I did that. I guess, creatives just have, like, just throw something in there, like...
Little jab.
No one will probably even get it.
Put the book emoji too.
It's like, in a painting, like the artist will have something in there that like nobody knows about, but it's for them. And well, first of all, it's pretty easy to write a book. You just kind of get on Microsoft Word and then Amazon. I haven't told anybody that there's a paperback version. I haven't really said that anywhere.
In the book, was it just, in your Instagram, was it just promoting the Kindle?
Yeah, it was just the ebook.
Oh, the ebook.
The ebook.
I went out to Amazon. I saw it was paperback. There was no question asked. I was like, I want the real shit.
Of course. And I don't know. So I started writing. Someone had reached out to me on Instagram saying that their friend was going through a similar thing with an injury and kind of wanting to know the mental aspects of it, like can you help them out or something. So I wrote this super long DM message to this guy about everything that I went through and what I thought might help him. And I was like, yeah, like if you ever need anything, let me know. But when I wrote that, I was like, I kind of think I have like a few things to say. And I started looking at my footage because I made a video of like the recovery, and I'm like, this doesn't say anything about what really happened. I'm like, this says nothing about the depression, the suicide, the crawling out of rock bottom, and that incredible day I had with my uncle. And the videos, it just shows me like having surgery and doing physical therapy, and now I'm skydiving again, like, which is so cool and it's fun, but you don't really get to know the inner workings of the mental side of stuff. And I'm like, let me start writing something down. So I branched off. I used that one DM as a kind of like outline, I guess, of like certain points I wanted to hit. And then I started expanding on it. And then I went into more detail about the depression side, about my recovery, about the mental just hurdles and what I was thinking at every single moment during the jump and before the jump. And then towards the end, wrapping it up in terms of every single thing that I learned and how some crazy, fucked up, twisted way I'm actually kind of happy this all happened. Which is so crazy to even think about. Like, you're going to break your leg, but it's going to be good for you.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
So when you start writing this, though, are you like in this 10 hours a day, or is it just kind of like you're chipping away when you're inspired to write?
Yeah, I wrote in a few different installments, a few different sittings, I guess. And it was funny, like as I progressed, like my writing personally, I think it improved in my storytelling. So I had to like go back to the front and like
start
keep going over it.
Yeah.
It was a lot, especially when I was like, all right, I'm done. And then it's like, read it again. and I was like, all right, yeah. I made some mistakes, and I wanted to add this and that, and then it's like, read it again.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of repetition, and I had, I sent it to a few friends before I published it, and I was like, what do you guys think? And yeah, I just and I'd put it out for free. It is for free right now on vibe.5.com.
No way.
Yes.
It's not 5.5.
5.5.
No way. You are.
Let me tell the people what a vibe.5 is.
Please.
It's a place. It's a person. Wherever that place is that you feel most at peace, where there is nothing that could ruin your day. It's kind of, I get a little tingles in my fingertips sometimes. Just when you're just kind of like vibing with the friends. It could be at the beach, sunset.
Couple White Claws.
Couple 2 trees. But no, also meditation, anything. Your vibe.5 could be anything. When it's a vibe and a half, it's a vibe.5. So that's actually a little brand I'm starting soon. And
wow.
That's what the 5 is on the hat, bro.
Oh.
5.5, bro.
Already got the hat on, too.
Got it, man.
Yeah, I'll have that link in the description if people want to go check out and actually get it. Book is free on that website as well. And I'd only made a Kindle version that you pay for because I just wanted it to be on Kindle. But Amazon's like, you gotta charge something. Yeah, of course.
Like, we're not gonna put something up if not making any money.
They want to make some money.
Yeah, and then the paperback, it was just like a thing that they had there. They're like,
Amazon offered?
They goes, do you want to have a paperback version?
Of course.
We can do that.
Of course.
I said that would be lovely.
That's fucking sick. It's a physical copy.
When I first held it, I said, "Oh shit! Did I just write a book?"
Yo, that's how you. That's the crazy thing when you can physically hold it, dude. Other than it documenting such a pivotal chapter in your life, literally, what's your hopes for people that read this? Why? Like, obviously, other than like putting it into words and having something for somebody to fully understand what you went through, but what are you hoping for people that actually take the time to read it? What's the takeaway?
Well, I just
catch.
Yeah, toss it.
can't throw it if it's an ebook, dude.
Right. Well, throw a little dedication here on the beginning of the book. This book is dedicated to those who are broken, who have hit rock bottom in the depths of despair, whose psyches are convinced there is nothing left in this world. May you find the light where there seems to be nothing but darkness. It can be an injury, it can be anything, but I know every single person is going through something.
Yeah.
And I want 2 things. One, for them to know that they're not alone. And 2, for them to talk about it. The only reason I was able to be this transparent in this book, you, Dalton, and some runner you had on one of your podcasts
Recently?
Yeah, maybe like last couple months, but
Luke Gledhill?
maybe I don't know.
English guy?
Not sure,
Cool.
but
Cool.
he was so transparent and open, and here it is. This is me, and the liberating feeling you get from doing that is a feeling that I didn't even think was possible, but it just makes everything just makes sense. Like, yeah, be yourself. Yeah, but like, come on. Except for, when I'm in this situation and I'm trying to look cool. But then it's like, yeah, well, if you're trying to look cool over here for some girl, and then that girl likes you, and then you date, and then she realizes you're not that dude. You're this other dude, and you should have been with that person if you were being yourself, but you're not, and you're over here. You should have been over there, but now she's with someone else, and now this is going here. But like, it's all connected.
Yeah.
It's all connected. Yeah, I love the, especially for guys, transparency, talking about your feelings. And
Yeah.
I mean, even right now, dude, I'm sweating buckets. I mean,
Take off the hoodie.
I love talking to you about it. It's incredible, but I'm super anxious. I don't know why.
Do more.
Just
keep doing it. It's just reps.
That's
I know all it is.
And exactly. And I just, yeah, I want people to be transparent with their feelings, and it's something that I'm working on, and it feels good to say that I'm working on it, because I'm working on it. But being a guy and talking about feelings and all that stuff,
yeah, I mean, it's
pretty whack.
That's what society in the past would say. You're a pussy.
Whack.
You're whack.
Nah.
Not cool. But I think there's a true shift. And the thing is, though, is that it's not. I don't want people to think that you have to do it in a public manner, because not everyone has access to a podcast or starts a podcast or starts a vlog or wants to do a vlog. It's just about it's about finding the right medium to express your emotions, whether it's writing it out in a journal, whether it's telling a friend, whether it is podcasting, whether it is a vlog, whatever that thing is that works for you, that's the thing you got to do more of. And so whether it's you continuously writing a blog or maybe starting a podcast someday, you'll have to find the medium that works for you. But I would really challenge you to keep doing this, to keep sharing your story in your voice, even as you're coming out and you're back to healthy. Your perspective and the lens that you see the world now, and the lessons that you're going to continue to learn as your life rolls forward, there's going to be so much insight in there that somebody else out there is relating to, and is going to hear it or read it or see it and be like, wow, fuck, Molives is feeling the same way. I feel the same way too, So it ends up becoming a therapy session. That's what I always joke about doing these solo pods. The guest pods, it's about the guests. I'll add my 2 cents. I'll add a little bit of my story here and there. Ha 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 ha. But the solo pods, I laugh before I even fire it up, because I'm like, this is my time to shine. This is my time to let out anything that's on my mind and fucking fully send it. And I know you've heard probably a handful of the subjects that I've dived into, but there have been subjects that I'm really about to publish this shit, and I'm just like, fuck it. I got nothing to lose, and I got everything to gain.
Yep.
And there's 2 things. One, it's like at least in my little bubble of trying to be a podcaster, if you want to do it at the highest level, you need to accept it. You are a person, not a personality, but you're a person that is publicly talking about their lives. You can't cut out everything. You can cut out certain things, but you really got to connect with people. The best way to connect is storytelling through your experiences. And the second thought, I don't remember where I was going, but ultimately, the subjects that I have been hesitant to publish end up getting the most feedback, the most DMs, the most positive reinforcements of yo, I'm going through something similar, and I'm like, puh, light bulb, ding, this shit works. I just got to keep telling my story. I got to keep being my most authentic version of myself. And like you said, writing that book, you feel relieved. The piece that you made in of itself was beautifully done. But that doesn't, I watched, that was before you announced the book. I was like, this is fucking beautiful. He's already jumping off a plane. He's a savage. Great. Good to see Miles back on his feet. But when I saw you release the book, and then when I read the book, I was like, oh, this is the story that nobody saw from the outside looking in.
Yep.
So my challenge for you is going to be to keep finding a way to share that voice and keep. It doesn't have to be daily, weekly. It doesn't have to be another book, but like just keep finding ways to share your thoughts with the world, because at the end of the day, it's going to make you feel fucking great. But ultimately, it's going to help other people when they hear and see it, that you're going through something that they're probably going through.
Yeah. Yeah. The authenticity is the North Star, along with happiness, like personal happiness. I'm like, is this going to make me happy? Like after I do it, like, and I just love the transparency. Yeah. You inspired me. Like I said, Dalton inspired me. The runner guy inspired me. And I think that's kind of how we can start changing the world, to be honest. Like talking big schemes. But if we're talking about it, well, you guys help me talk about it. This podcast might help someone else talk about like whatever's going on in their lives, and just become more honest and open and transparent about, everyone's feelings and stuff. And writing this book, I mean, I could have wrote this, and I mean that's why I originally just put it out for free. I don't care about like the money or anything. Like I just want people to read it. Like I think people relate to it, and it might help someone else. So yeah, so I was just like, yeah, just take it. Like go for it. It's information. It's stuff. Like it's for you. But it ultimately. Selfishly, I did write it for me. It was extremely therapeutic to get my thoughts out and everything that I was feeling and whatnot. So
one thing I got to say about you is, even before this, and I still vividly remember the time you came through the studio at the Content Curve 1.0 in Sun Valley. It was a whole different life for the bearded man at that time. Your energy was very radiant, and it was very obvious to me. And even knowing somebody that had grown up with cystic fibrosis, who is still, battling it to this day. It's a lifetime disease, right? But the way that you carried yourself, and my knowledge of what that disease was, I was like, this is a guy that has, I don't want to say used a disease to his benefit, but like, it sure ain't holding him down. It sure hasn't stopped him from living his life, from traveling, from like just doing what he wants to do. What's a lesson that you've learned from all these years? I mean, that's why you're here in LA right now. You literally just came from your once a quarter checkup for cystic fibrosis. So literally, like, timing couldn't be more impeccable. What's a lesson that you've learned from all these years of battling CF that you still remind yourself of to this day?
It's so funny that I only remember I even have it when I go to these appointments that I have to go to 4 times a year. And I just never wanted to live a life that of like I would do it, but I just I can't, or I shouldn't. I think being able to lead a life where you're fully open to do whatever you want, regardless of having any, setbacks physically or mentally or anything. I just,
It's never held you down.
It never has, and it's tough to. I've never lived a life without it. So, but like I said in the last one, like I'm kind of glad I have it, because I always had like this kind of inkling, like time is coming, it's creeping up, and I know I'm not going to be here forever, but I always had felt bad that not everyone was aware of that, because being born with CF, the average life expectancy is late 30s, 40, but yeah, so I know like at some point, and that's why, I stay active, and I'm trying to do all this crazy stuff and get my stories out there. I just want to do it all, big planet, trying to see it all, trying to do it all before I leave. And yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got enough air going in your lungs when you're jumping out of planes. Perfectly flying planes, might I say. Never understood the concept till this day of jumping out of a perfectly flying plane. But we won't get into that today.
Those planes aren't perfect. See the inside of those things.
How in the book you dive into it heavily, but how has meditation helped you to be more present?
Meditation, man.
Yeah.
So it's the one thing that always brings me back to my true self of just peace. Like my 5.5, like when I get into like the meditation mode, I'm floating right at the end of it. I'm just like, I'm in the zone, and it doesn't matter. Anything could happen. I'd be like, all right, okay, cool. But I think that taking time to I like to meditate in nature, outside somewhere, or even like floating meditation is really cool. I did some hot yoga recently for the first time.
Ooh, baby. That's
10
a
out of 10.
changer.
Oh my goodness.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
And it was something I'd never thought I'd do, but I did it, and I was like, holy shit, this is a 5.5. Mm-hmm. And when I was in there, I was like, this is meditation. This is literally, I got that same energy from sitting meditation and listening to little playlist I have that I got there, sweating my balls off in a hot room, which was
some beautiful woman too. You might you might meet the future.
There may have been a couple to a tree ladies. I will not lie. I will not
plead the fifth.
But
truthfully, no, it is a meditation. The practice of yoga.
Yeah, I wasn't even. I mean, yeah, you notice a pretty girl, but I mean, I was in the zone. Yeah, I was in the zone, dude. I was dialed in, like big time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't talk enough about meditation. And if you don't do any meditation, I'd definitely check out Headspace app, or what's the other one?
There's Headspace. There's that's the one I use now. There's Sam Harris Waking Up.
Yeah.
You can go on YouTube and just type in meditation. And
literally.
There's hundreds of them for free. Thousands at this point.
And the thing that I realized with meditation is, because I was always in my head, I'm like, all right, I'm meditating. Like, no, what do I do now? Like, am I doing it? Is this it? Are we here? But there's no such thing. I put pressure on myself. Like, that wasn't the best one. Like, yesterday was better. But like, there's no good or bad meditation. There's just meditation and sitting there with your thoughts and noticing your breath and coming back to the present moment and just being completely at peace. But the ideas of like, this is good or bad, there's no hierarchy of meditation. There just is meditation. So yeah, I was always trying to categorize different things, or even experiences like, this was way better, like, I don't know, last year or something.
Yeah.
It's not good, or it is.
Yeah.
This is, man.
Perfect example is people always ask, like, what's your favorite podcast you ever done? And I, honestly, like, they're like, you're just saying it because you're just saying this because it's your podcast. I'm like, nope. Every podcast is my best podcast. I treat the same one, every single guest at the highest level.
They are.
There's takeaways different for right and wrong reasons, but no. It's all stepping process. Similar to meditation, every day is a stepping process.
Yeah.
Some days might feel better than others, but in reality, the recognition of like, wait, I'm like thinking about the wrong things. I'm supposed to be listening to my breath. That in and of itself is the meditation. It's being aware of where your mind is.
Yeah.
And so it's always there's always more work to be done. And I mean, I've been meditating for 5 years, and sheesh, I barely scratched the surface with this damn thing, but I would not be where I am today. I wouldn't have the mind that I have. I wouldn't be able to operate at this level. I wouldn't be able to be as productive. I think that's why I'm able to be productive on a daily basis, because I'm recognizing I should be focused on this right now. Don't worry about what you're doing this weekend. Worry about this very moment, recording this podcast. That's all I'm worried about. And then I'll compartmentalize and figure out all the other stuff tomorrow and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, meditation is a game changer. What's one question you're trying to answer in your life right now?
Am I happy? At all times. And I would encourage other people to do the same. Like, if just constantly self-check. Like, am I happy right now? if you are, dope. Why are you happy? Like, what's going on? Is it who you're with, where you're living, get a new job or something? And then if you're not, same thing. Not really happy. Well, why not? What's going on? And just having that little internal dialogue. The answer's been hell yeah.
Let's go.
For
Fireworks
recently.
popping off, baby. That's what I love to hear.
Yeah. And I'm just so glad that I don't know, I've come out of rock bottom, and I've seen the other side, and my empathy and compassion now for anybody who's going through something is just through the roof, and actually actively listening. And that's actually something I actually learned from the last relationship. I would say something or talk about something, and then she would start talking, and I'd start zoning out, and I'm just like, it's not cool. It's very selfish, and just being a good listener is something I've learned throughout this, and seeing people with casts on their ankles coming on crutches on the plane now, and I'm just like, what do you need? What do you need? Anything. I will do it.
Oh, that's great.
I love you. You are seen. If you need anything at all, I will help you.
Oh, I love that.
I will help you.
I love that.
Would you like to read a book? It's free. Here you go. You might like it. If you don't,
oh my god,
you can throw it away.
You're fucking hilarious.
For real though, that happened recently, like last week, and I was like,
what do you need?
What happened? Are you okay? No, but like, are you okay?
Oh, God.
It's okay if you're not.
That's beautiful.
Because I wasn't, so I get it, dude.
Yeah, you're taking what was not an easy experience to go through, and you're utilizing it to your best advantage, and that's all you can ever do. I always preach on these podcasts. It's like, you can either look at it as a situation as happening to you, or you can look at it as something's happening for you.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to break their leg. Nobody wants to go through what you're going through, but it's like, when it happened, it happened. Okay?
Yeah.
How do we move forward? The girl doesn't respond to your text. How do we move forward? You don't get the job that you wanted. How do you move forward? The podcast flops and you didn't get as many reviews as you thought. How do you move forward? It's always, how do you move forward? That's the mindset. It's a perspective. It's the same thing with what you're going through right now. It happened. How do you take these lessons and move it forward with you? The best first step you took was write a fucking book. That's a great leap forward. And now it's just part of the story moving forward for the rest of your life. I could spend hours with you. We're going to get into quick cues, and then we'll kind of wrap this podcast up. What daily routines help you operate at your highest level?
Dude, that's something I'm trying to learn from you, dude. Because it's so hard when I wake up every morning and I'm like, all right, well, what's the first thing I do?
Yeah.
And I got to shower and hit the hotel shuttle, get to the airport, work. And I would love to be in a world where I actually woke up every single morning and did the same thing, but I don't.
Your lifestyle is not easy to do it when you're traveling. And
the thing is as soon as I, like when I go to bed, like sleep for me personally is number one because I get none of it. So sleep is king.
You're going to get plenty of it tonight. We got a great spot for you, so you're good.
Yeah, the couch is fucking massive, dude. I'm sleeping on a 20 by 20 couch.
Well, you saw the size of Robbie. We need it.
That's true. But yeah, I am inspired by your daily routines and the way that it's actually is a daily routine. It's not something that you did for a few days in a row. It's a daily routine, which is super cool. But yeah, for me, sleep is king, and then it would be food, and then it would be exercise, and meditation though will always bring me back. If I'm ever, I did it on the plane ride coming over here.
Beautiful.
Just like right before we landed, because I was kind of anxious because I haven't been back here since me and my ex split, and I was like, it was like, oh shit, like I don't know how this is gonna feel, but you know, going through this, I've realized a lot of things, and that was, that relationship was a good thing to happen. And, I have nothing but absolute love for that girl, and I hope she has incredible success in whatever she does. But yeah, it was an incredible learning process, that's for sure. And being back here, man, LA is just cool, dude.
Yeah.
Just driving around. First of all, Hollywood sign always hits. Did a nice little Runyon Canyon
every time
hike today. That always hits. And just like even in the airport, man, LAX, like everyone just looks so cool. They just have the coolest clothes. And
it's a 5.5.
It's a 5.5, bro. But it's definitely not for me to live here. But and I mean, I didn't really have like crazy amount of friends here, anyways. But it's not my spot. But it's cool, man.
It's a good place to be. We'll begin you coming out here more often at the Venice Villa. I'll tell you that right now.
Hey, man.
And I'm gonna get you dialed in with these routines after we get off this podcast.
Let's get it.
If you had to tell yourself one motto every morning, what would it be?
Have fun, man. I don't care what I'm doing, man. I try to have fun doing anything. So as long as I'm having a good time, and even if it's not like a fun thing, I'm just trying to make it fun. Like I'm just silly. So like whenever I'm silly, man, I feel like I'm being silly now. But
we're getting to the end, don't you worry.
No, it's good though. Like whenever I'm super silly, like bro, I literally I say this in the book, bro. Every morning, actually, when I'm in Florida, I wake up, I go outside, I say good morning to the palm trees. I like grab the leaves and I say, hello, mister, good morning. And then I push one of the palm trees twice. And then I sniff the flowers because they smell so good.
Oh, I love
and
that.
And I say, good morning, flowers. And then I go to the flamingos. There's these two little flamingo things that we have there. And so I tap them on the head and say, good morning to the flamingos. And then there's some beach chairs. And I look at them and I say, hey, chairs, don't get up, but good morning. Don't get up. And I audibly to myself,
great.
audibly,
this is great.
I speak.
This is like some Jim Carrey shit.
It's absurd. I'll be honest. I would love to capture it in a video, but I don't know how I'd be able to do that with it being so authentic, but also like setting up and filming it and knowing I'm being filmed. But yeah,
have fun.
I like to have fun and be silly.
I like that. If you could gift one lesson to the world, what would it be?
Gift a lesson
to the world.
Break a leg, fix a mind, man.
What's an area of life you need to put more effort into?
Finances.
Amen.
Completely honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have made that one of my 2021 like personal goals is to be more have a good cushion in the bank and have some good investments. I've been getting into the crypto gang, so and also stocks. I'm in the Southwest employee stock purchase program.
Amazing.
401k,
Let's go.
Matching 10%, which is incredible.
That's a lot.
That's
a lot.
I think it's 9.7 or something, but like
still 9 is strong.
And yeah, so finances, man. I've always been the worst. My motto is and used to be money isn't real. What if I can wait? You're telling me I can give you these little paper thingies and I can go to Dubai or Australia? And I'm like, yeah.
Can't take it to the grave with you, brother.
I'm like, take it.
Yeah.
Take my money.
Yeah.
But yeah, not the best with money.
I hear you loud.
For all the listeners, I ordered an Uber Lux on my way from the
that's a good first step. You said I'm on my way in an Uber Lux with the little like
the smirk
emoji. I'm like, this guy.
The regular Ubers, it was only $10 more, and the regular ones it was gonna take like 35 minutes. You know,
it's worth it. Friday in class, brother. What's the first step anyone can take to reaching their inner potential?
Self-awareness, probably. If you yeah, knowing yourself and doing that inner work to explore, just knowing yourself, certain situations, and I think if you really know who you are and what you want to do and where you're going, I think that's definitely good for everyone. And for me, happiness is my North Star. So I don't really care about much else.
Mm-hmm.
If it's gonna make me happier, truly happy, I'm going whatever way that is. And for me right now, that way is by way of Florida and falling out of airplanes.
Bless your soul. I agree, though. I think the self-awareness is easily the first step, and the best way to get that self-awareness is by doing the deep work, by having the stillness, by reading books, by trying to understand what do you really want to do with your life.
Oh, yeah.
And
taking
time to write down those goals and get a clear vision of where you're trying to go. And if you're not doing things today that are helping you get there, then what do you need to do to shift and put you on course?
Exactly. And books for sure. And we referenced a couple.
I'll have those linked in the description for the ones we talked about.
And another one, my personal favorite recently, Peace is Every Step. Buddhist monk just talking about practical ways to practice mindfulness during your everyday, driving a car, washing the dishes, and why that will help. So
I'll have that linked up too in the description. As we wrap up, I always allow the guests to put a challenge out there to anyone that's still listening to the podcast and made it through an hour and 25 minutes. What is one challenge that you have for the listener today after they finish this podcast?
Are you happy? Why or why not? Happiness, man. Everyone deserves happiness. Everybody. I don't care about anything in anyone's past or present or future. Everybody deserves happiness. And I think if you can ask yourself, if I'm happy, why or why not, try and figure out what it is or what situations that you are in when you do claim yourself to be happy, and to put yourself in that situation more. Certain place, certain people around, or doing a certain thing. I think, I think that would be good for people to self-check, and happiness, man.
It's a key, man.
No one should be sad, bro. No one should be sad. Nobody
should be sad. Miles, brother, this second podcast for us was a long time coming. I was a little salty, a little disappointed when I found out you weren't coming, but then when I saw you were in the back of an ambulance, I was like, well, definitely can't be mad at this guy for not being able to come out. But to read and see what you went through yesterday was really eye-opening to me. And I really appreciated how authentic you were in telling the story. But also at the same time, I was laughing while I read it. And I was like, this guy doesn't even know how good of a writer he is, because I can hear your voice while I'm reading it. And you really stayed true to who you are. And I'm telling, it was just so well written. But truthfully, like reading it, it was, I don't want to say it was hard to read, but there were just moments I was like, fuck, man, like this guy really went through some tough shit. And I remember, I still to this day, I'm like telling you, I remember we were on that IG live, you jumped in, I pulled you in, and that must have been right at the beginning, right before all of this really started to turn. And I wish I would, it's easier to sit here and go, I wish I would have checked in on you and see how you're doing. But like,
it's all good, man.
But to see what you have, how you've come out of this, man, is truly an inspiration. Like, this is a really important podcast on this project. Like, this is a really unique story like there hasn't been an episode where we just literally talk about a moment in someone's life. A lot of these are guests for the first time, but since we know each other, this is a different approach, and just a beautiful like roller coaster of like on this high of life, traveling, jumping out of planes, to this unbelievable injury, to some really dark times, to then digging yourself out and honestly digging out a completely different person. Just absolutely nothing but respect for you, brother. And I really, I said it earlier, but like I really challenge you to keep telling your story, to keep finding mediums on top of the vlog stuff that you already do. Keep finding mediums that allow you to share your voice, because you're going to feel really good about it, because they're going to take a shit ton of weight off your shoulder, but there's going to be somebody that sees it and they're going to fucking love it. And I'm here to support you every step of the way, brother.
I appreciate that, man. And dude, do not worry like about like checking it. Well, it is good. It is actually good to know like that, to hear a story like this and know that, you know, you do not know everything that's going on with the person, and just to check in to like, you know, your friends and people that, you know, might not be as outspoken or stuff about stuff. So it's good in that sense of someone to check in with people more. But when I was there, when I was in that spot, nobody could have told me a single thing when I was down there at rock bottom that I would have been like completely okay. Like I think I might have talked to my buddy Joe a little bit about the relationship side of things for a little bit, because there was a point where he could relate to me and he was open, which again, the transparency of being open about everything is so key. So he helped me out with a little bit of that, but that was all internal work that had to be done behind the scenes. And there's nothing anybody could have said that would have helped me out. It probably would have felt nice. So I don't know.
You dug yourself out, brother.
Yeah, but it was a lot of different things. And yeah. But anyway, dude, I'm a huge fan of you, dude. This platform, you as a dude, you're doing it. You just moved to this amazing place. Guys, it is beautiful. 25-foot ceilings and just open floor plan in Venice, California.
Yeah. Dream come true, man.
Dude, I am such a big fan of you, bro.
Appreciate
and
it.
You're my boy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just so
it.
crazy. Like,
it's crazy. Couple East Coasters on the West, baby.
You know, that's what we're doing, bro. We're doing it. But
I appreciate you, Miles. I really do.
Me too, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this podcast, we got 2 favors to ask. I'm really the one asking the favor, so we'll cut Molives out of this. Screenshot this episode on whatever platform you're listening in on. Post it to your IG story. Tag Molives, Moliveess, 2 S's, right?
There's 2 S's.
Yeah,
Yep.
2 S's. Moliveess. Tag Molives.
And tag Bob Bay. B-O, 3 B's, 4 A's, and a Y.
This guy's mocking me across. I wish you guys could see this. Unfucking believable. Tag me at Babe, B-O, 3 B's, 4 A's, and a Y. Share it on your IG story and tell us what you enjoyed about this damn podcast. Let us know. I want to know what the biggest takeaway was. But more importantly, go grab this man's book. It's for free in the ebook. Break a leg, fix a mind, get it on Amazon. Tell Jeff Bezos you're coming through from Matt. From Matt. I'll have Matt's website linked up in the description below. I suggest you get the physical copy. Big physical type of guy, so I like touching and feeling it. Miles, it's been a pleasure, brother. Thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Love you, bro.
Love you too, man. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Bearded Man Podcast. See ya!